watching me. I see you watching me. Oh, that's the family. Oh, what's up, family? Welcome back to the channel. It's your host, Real Talk Shouty. Welcome back to the channel, family. It's your host, Real Talk Shouty. You're not tuned into another video. Thank you for coming back and joining the channel. In today's video, we're going to speak about wrestling and angel. That's right, wrestling and angel. Now, back in the Bible, it speaks about how Jacob wrestled with an angel. Let's get that real quick. Wrestling and angel. Take that off. All right, let's see. All right. Jacob wrestling an angel is going to touch down in Genesis, the first book of the Bible, chapter 32, verses 22 through 31. This is going to be the New International Version. And it speaks, Jacob wrestling with God, Jacob wrestling with an angel. That night Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Verse 29 says, Jacob says, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask of my name?" Then he blessed him there. Verse 30, so Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Wow. Wrestling with an angel. First and foremost, family, I'd like to say thank you to the Most High Yah and His Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. Thank you for the Holy Spirit for giving us the opportunity to gather today. You know, a lot of times we find ourselves in tough situations, not realizing that a lot of these tough so-called situations have come across because we have been wrestling with an angel. Now you may say to yourself, well, why do I have to wrestle with an angel? And the reason why, in my opinion, we wrestle with angels is because, well, for one, God assigned the angels to serve his people. So we actually have charge over the angels. However, that's only when we are walking in the fold of Christ. See, a lot of times, the Most High has to put us in situations to keep us into the fold. Because once we get into God's good graces, once we start experiencing his everlasting mercy and his mighty awesome favor, we will start to veer to the left a little bit or veer to the right a little bit. And God says, no, I got to keep you right in the middle. I got to keep you in the straight way. I got to keep you in your lane and focused on the goal so that you can ultimately make it to your destination. So when we find ourselves veering to the left or veering to the right, the Most High will come in and send angels to wrestle with us to keep us in God's perfect fold. Now, in Jacob's scenario, he had already had possessions. He had 2 wives, he had servants, and they were traveling from one city to another, from one country to another. And so after he had sent all his possessions and all of his family members of his home across the river or across the border, he was left on his own. And my guess is that he was contemplating his next move. He was figuring out how he was going to make it into a new land and sustain his riches, sustain his wealth, sustain his family. So he's wrestling with this angel. And this angel is trying to overcome Jacob, but Jacob is fighting. And he's fighting because he's used to doing things on his own. However, he doesn't realize that this person that is literally here to help him and serve him, he's fighting against them. So the angel has to do something to him to injure him, just to get him to, settle down a little bit, so he could realize, look, man, I'm here to help you. See, a lot of the people in our community, especially my people, we fight against the people who are literally sent here to help us. We go against the grain. We go against the individuals who are set up to help us for whatever reason. And I think that is what's going to keep our people set back the most, is when they go against something that they do not understand. See, Jacob was going against the angel because he could not understand what the angel was there for. He couldn't understand what that person was in his life for at the time, because he was already doing just fine. However, he was doing fine in the land that he currently dwelled in. But when you're moving to a new land, when you're moving across the border, when you're moving into the unknown, when you're going into your wilderness, you don't know what to expect. So this angel is here to serve Jacob, and Jacob is fighting against the angel, the person that God sent to help him, because it's unfamiliar to him. And the only reason how the angel was able to overcome Jacob is by injuring him. It goes back to say that he afflicted his hip so that Jacob could lose the fight, and then realize that this person was here to help. So after he gets injured and realizes that this angel is here to help, he says, well, what's your name? And he says, well, the angel asked Jacob, what's his name? And then he tells him his name, and then the angel says, well, that's no longer going to be your name. Your name is going to be Israel. From this point on, your name is going to be Israel. Can you imagine wrestling against someone that can change not only your personal, financial, business, family situation, but can change your name? Family, that's big. That's huge. If you meet someone that can change your name, family, why would you fight against that? Someone that can bless you so well and abundantly that you don't even have the same name. You don't even go by the same name anymore. That's what Jacob was encountering. And so the Bible speaks in Genesis about how Jacob asked the angel, what's his name? And the angel says, why do you need to know my name? You're the one that's important. You're the one that I came to serve. So at the end of the day, something else that we do, family, we ask too many questions that has nothing to do with God's purpose and will for our lives. It's like we want to play God's role. It's like we want to be God ourselves. But how can we be God and us at the same time? We can't be God. You can't be God. The only person you can be is you. And if the Most High sends someone in your life to help change it and reshape it and to mold it, so much so to the fact to where you don't even go by the same name anymore, family, that is a blessing. And do not fight against that, because certain situations like that, certain blessings only happen like that once in a lifetime. The Bible only has one account of Jacob wrestling with an angel, and he's the only one out of the whole Bible that had this type of encounter. So he says he's seen God face to face, and he called the angel Peniel. And with that being said, family, I think that is a good enough topic to discuss for today. And I think we're gonna wrap this up because I don't want this video to get too long. So if this has been edifying to you, go ahead and push that like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave a comment and share the video. We're gonna be getting into more topics and into deeper discussions very, very soon. So with that being said, family, thank you for coming back and joining the channel. Thank you for watching this video. This being your host, Real Talk Shouted. I'm gonna get at you in this video. Glory be to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Shalom.